Hello, Julie here, and welcome to this video. It's just a pretty quick video today. I just wanted to show you some avocado dyeing I have done. This is the first time I've done it, and I was really excited to try it. I had some successes and some failures, so I'll share them all with you. I started off, I had a whole heap of avocado, both skins and pits, and I followed a tutorial by Treasure Books, and I'll put the link to that tutorial in the description box. So all I'm going to do is show you what I've done. I'm not going to actually show you the process, but a few of the tools I used was I just used some disposable gloves, although I found that the disposable gloves made it a bit hard to handle the paper when it was wet, and I got a few tears by using gloves. So I did it over 3 days, so I used the gloves on the first day, and then after that I didn't use them for separating the papers. I spread this tablecloth. It's got a furry sort of back and a plastic top on my dining room table, which is 2.5 metres by 1 metre, so I spread this out so it covered the whole thing. And you can see here that the dye marked the tablecloth, but it also took the colour out of it, so I thought that was a bit interesting. But anyway, I spread this out over the whole table so that I didn't mark the table. Mind you, the table's got a glass top, so probably would have been alright. Then the first day I just did mostly papers, and to be quite honest I did more than I really should have, because I had to put these like on my table about 2 or 3 thick, and they took a long time to dry. They actually took 2 days to dry. And these, you can see, are the ones that I tore as I was getting them out of the water, out of the dyeing fluid. So there's a few there that are torn, but I mean I can still use those for different things, backing tags and stuff like that. So while they're torn, it's not all bad news. So they're all the torn ones, which are not that many really when you think how many I've got here. And then to get these patterns on them, I use these plastic table runners, or whatever you want to call them. You buy this at Spotlight here in Australia by the metre. I can't remember how much it is, but I've got 3 different ones. So there's that one there. There's this one that's circular, so that's quite nice. And also this one, and this one's square as well, but it's a different square than the first one. So you can see pattern there. So I bought a metre of each one of those, and they're that width as a standard thing. So I had enough to cover quite a few papers. I just laid the papers out on the table and then put this over the top, and where it covered, and where it didn't, it didn't. So you'll notice that some of the papers have got like this one, for example. It's only got half a page with the pattern on it. So this is one of the square patterns, and the first day I laid, say I might have 3, oh well, there you go. Oh no, maybe not. But I may have had 3 layers of paper sitting under there, and then that on the top. And I found that the first layer had a really clear pattern, and then as it went down, the pattern got lighter until you get something like that. So yeah, I was really quite happy with those. You can see some are dark, some are light. Why? I've got no idea. There's a plain one that was just, you know, I didn't have enough to cover the whole thing with them, so I did want some plain ones anyway. So they're, I'm really happy with them. I mean, I've got enough here that I'll never have to do it again, I don't think. But I did enjoy it, and I'm going to have another go at doing some coffee or tea dyeing. Now, this paper, when I took it out of the water solution or the dye solution, it was already crinkled, and when I put it on the table I didn't want to try and tear it by lifting it up, so I left it with the creases in it, so that you can see the creases are all in there permanently now. This is where the two different patterns overlapped, so that was the end of the run, if you know what I mean. So this page has got half and half, so if I was to use that in a book, you know, it would be fine because you don't even see it. And look how faint it is on the back. This one's a bit crooked, but you know, who cares? So yeah, there's a variation of all the different papers, and then under here I've got, I think, oh yeah, just about all of the pages that day that were patterned. And point about the fact, I haven't really got a lot of plain pages. Now I tried this burlap. This was like the really light biscuity coloured burlap before I started, and you can see when I scrunched it all up in the thing, you can see the creases, so you get a variegated finish, and it's much lighter on the back, so where you sit it on the table or wherever, the colour seems to come to the top for some reason. I don't know, I would have thought it went to the bottom, but no, it works the opposite way. So you can, I could iron this if I wanted to, or leave it crinkly. I don't know what I'll do yet. Now this is a nylon piece of old curtain that I cut off actually, and you can see that the nylon doesn't take so well, and when it does, it's not such a nice colour. It's more of a dirty pink than a nice pink. So I'm probably not going to use like nylon stuff in there anymore. I did some cheesecloth or gauze, and you can see I had this one folded in halves and dried it like that, and you can see that that side and that side are much lighter than that top side. That's okay. More cheesecloth. I just did a whole heap of it. And this is a large doily. You can see it's quite large. And I thought I'd just do that. I can cut this up, you know, I can just use leaves or bits and pieces. But once again, much lighter on the back. And that was what I did on the first day. So lots of paper in that one and a little bit of fabric. That was my learning day. Now I put the leftover fluid in a glass bowl, sealed it up and put it in the fridge, and not the next day but the day after I used it again, and it was still fine. So this is my efforts for day 2. You can see there's not much variation in the colour. I think if anything this day it turned out to be a little bit darker. But I did some extra things. I did, this is just like bias tape, and I dyed that. So there's a whole reel of that there. This is some frilly edged elastic that stretches, and I was thinking of using some of this to make closures for journals, so I've dyed some of that. That one seems to be quite good on both sides. The colour's pretty even both ways. Some more cheesecloth. This one seems a bit more variegated. I actually like the colour of this one better than the first day. And I went to town with the doilies. Now these are definitely lighter on the back than the front. I cut a bigger doily up because it was made up of all these little medallions, and I cut them up. This doily here, another beautiful doily, lighter on the back. Still don't understand that. This doily here, this doily took forever to dry. I ended up pegging it on the line, and you can see here these white marks is where the peg was. So it's taken the colour out of that section for some reason. This is another piece of curtain fabric, different to the other one, but I don't mind this one. it's taken a bit more colour, but it's still light and variegated, so I will use that one. This is a piece of lace, very wide lace, but look how beautiful that is. Should have a piece, something white to put under it. I wonder if that helps. Yeah, look at that. Lovely. Really like the colour of that. It's a nice soft pink. And this one here, I like this as well. Look how pretty that is. Can't really see it on there. Should have a bit of paper, but you can see there. Now this is calico. So this started out like this, exactly the same. I hadn't pre-washed it, and when I put it in the colour fluid, I thought, oh, it wasn't going to take, but eventually it did. Now this one I left in the dye for a couple of hours, and this one was only in there for about, long enough to scrunch it up and try and cover it all with liquid and take it out. And really, for the time that they spent in there, there's not a great deal of difference between the two pieces at all. If you go that way, so you can hardly see the difference. So leaving it in for a longer time, in my opinion, didn't really make that much difference. That's another piece of calico. I don't know whether I'll iron that or leave it crinkly, not sure. I also did some paper doilies. These are little, I think they were Kaisercraft or something like that, cardstock doilies. They took the colour quite well. And these are just your, your cheap doilies. And they've come up okay too. They've got different backs and fronts. I reckon that's where some of the colour off of that plastic tablecloth came onto the back of those. So there's a whole heap of different sorts there. A couple of them I did tear because I don't know whether you've ever worked with these doilies wet, but they're very fragile. So a couple of them did get torn, especially that one. I mean, it's really ruined, but I can use bits and pieces from around the edge. This was just a greeting card, you buy the card blanks. This was white, and I thought, oh, I'll just try colouring a piece of cardstock. So that's that. Came up okay, quite happy with it. And then I did some envelopes. This one, well, as you can see, has a blue border there, and I saw a tip somewhere that if you're going to, dye your envelopes, to make sure you do it with the flap open, this bit. So I did that. So that's that. And these were just plain white envelopes, and they've come up quite good. The sticky isn't sticky anymore, but look at the difference in the back and the front. It's laying on that side when it dried. So that's another envelope. These are all just variations of the same thing, so they're all just envelopes. This is a bigger envelope. That one came out quite good. I probably dried it that way up. Silly. Should have dried it with the front up. But anyway, if I put that in a journal, fold that in half, it's going to be fine. So that's that, and another doily. This envelope came undone, so the glue on that completely disintegrated. So I thought that was a bit of a bonus actually, because I can now sew that into a signature and then seal it up. Now I also did some papers. Oh, that's the elastic, but that's the colour it was before I dyed that pink. So this is from my op shop find, which is this old book. Beautiful old book. Love the colour of the pages as they are. But I thought, well, I'll try and dye these as well. Now this book is from about 1920 or something, but it's even got the personal inscription in there. Anyway, yeah, so they came up just lovely too, so all different colours. They should work a treat. And I also have a dictionary, which is this dictionary, just from the op shop. And I took out a whole signature from here, that first one, and used these like still joined together. So I've got double pages of those. I've got quite a few of those. And then I've got a few, oh, these are tracing paper. So I found this pad at the op shop, and it's tracing paper, and it's quite thick. Good tracing paper actually, 100 GSM. And so I thought I'd try some of that. So that is tracing paper. So that came up quite good too. I also have this pad that I got from the op shop, and that's got those lines on it. And so I did some of those. So you can hardly see the lines now, but even they're quite good colour on the back. Very solid. So this is all from day 2, and I think that some of the things turned out darker and some of them are about the same. But see, I didn't do any of these on the first day, so I don't know what they would have been like on the first day. And I've got a music book. So this book has got all that sort of stuff in it. Pure white. So I did some of those as well. And they come up really nice. They've got a nice colour. I'm very happy with those. So that was day 2. Now, because I didn't have so much stuff, paper-wise, I hung the fabric stuff on the line, but the paper-wise, I could just lay it out one layer on the dining room table, and it only took sort of like overnight to dry, so that's a good thing. So 3rd day, and I didn't have a lot of liquid left by now, so I used every skerrick of liquid that I had, and this is what I ended up doing on the 3rd day. So I've got some thin elastic here, and that I'm planning on using for closures. I have got some, all of this lace was white, pure white. So a bit of thin fancy lace. I have got this, and where did I put that? So that is that. On the back it's for paler, but it still looks nice on the back, so it depends on where you wanted to add it, which side you would use. This one, very pretty too, and you can see the peg mark there. That is that one. Come up beautiful. I don't know what sort of lace this is called, but it takes the colour really well. This is a nylon lace, and I made this flower ages ago and I've never got around to using it, so I thought, oh, I'm just going to throw it in there and see what happens, and it's come out really nice. I like it, so I'll use that on something, I don't know what. I've got this as well. It's a pretty lace, and that looks like this. This is sort of a bit off-white, bit creamish, but still close enough to white to be white. So there's that. And I plan on just cutting those flowers up and using them as single flowers. These are some flowers that Kaisercraft brought out many years ago, and they're a nylon thing, but I really like the variegated look that that's got, so I'll use that for something, I don't know what. And another nice little picket lace, once again, very light on the back. This is an elasticated lace, but I really like it. I think it's nice. And this is just a normal lace. You can see there that, let's see, if I put that on that, you can see the colour a bit better. Yeah. So I had a whole heap of that, so I did quite a bit of it. A bit more of that nylon curtain. A bit more of the antique paper. And a bit more of the dictionary. This is just a die cut that I thought, oh, it just fell out somewhere, so I thought, oh, well, I'll throw it in. Here's some more of that tracing paper. Now, that one was already torn. I didn't tear it in this process, but it was already torn. Another tracing paper. You can see that the table runner stopped there, so I've got half pattern, half plain. Another one. And this is one of those ones with the music lines on it. Yeah, you can see it on that side, but you can't really see it on that side. And this one had a little, this is tracing paper, and it had a puddle of liquid there, and I blotted it up with a tissue, and yeah, it just took all the colour out. So there we go. So much the same now. These are the same music sheets. So the ones with the holes in the side come out of the music sheet book. These ones are just the plain copy paper, just the normal 80 GSM copy paper. You can see they've come up really nice. I'm quite happy with it because this is the first time I've ever done it, and I was thinking, oh, you know, it's got to be hard. I wonder if it will work out and all that sort of stuff. And I'd been saving up the avocados for, I don't know, months. And yeah, anyway, I got to the stage where I had so many avocados flying out over the bench, and I thought I can't wait any longer, so I just had to do it. But now that I've done it once, I'm quite happy to do it again. So anyway, that is it for today. I just wanted to show you what I've made. And yeah, look, I really encourage you, if you're interested in this sort of thing at all, because you can use the same technique for tea or coffee, or she does it with onions and all sorts of things, and you get different colours from different products. So check out her video, which will be down below, and have a try. You know, it's a bit scary. Well, it was a bit scary for me to start with, but once I got mobile, I was really happy, and I really enjoyed it. And you know, I've got all this stuff now. I'm going to be making a lot of pink journals, I think, but I love the colour anyway, so yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I hope you can join me for my next video. If you're not a subscriber already, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel, and I hope you can join me for my next video. Okay, bye.